The Parti Québécois has been changing Quebec's political identity for more than 50 years. Its story begins on October 11, 1968, when René Lévesque brought together two groups, the Sovereignty Association Movement and the National Rally, to form a single party dedicated to independence and social democracy. Quebec was in the middle of a major period of modernization known as the Quiet Revolution, transforming its institutions and redefining its cultural confidence. The Parti Québécois quickly became the political voice of that transformation. In 1973, the party won its first 6 seats in the provincial legislature. By 1974, Lévesque committed the party to using referendums as the democratic pathway towards independence. Then, on November 15, 1976, the Parti Québécois achieved a historic breakthrough, forming its first majority government. 1 year later, in August 1977, the government passed the Charter of the French language, often called Bill 101, establishing French as Quebec's official language and reshaping education, business, and public life. On May 20, 1980, Quebec held its first referendum on independence. About 60% voted no, but the campaign cemented the Parti Québécois as the leading voice for the Quebec French nationalism. René Lévesque remained premier until 1985, when he stepped down after nearly a decade of major reforms. The party returned to power in September 1994 under Jacques Paris. On October 30, 1995, Quebec held its second referendum. The result was one of the closest Democratic votes in Canadian history. 50.58% voted no and 49.42% voted yes. The narrow defeat left a lasting impact on Quebec politics. Paris resigned shortly after, and Lucien Bouchard became premier in January 1996. Throughout the 2000s and the 2010s, the Parti Québécois continued to advocate for independence while navigating new debates around secularism, social programs, and language protection. The party governed again from 1998 to 2003 and briefly from 2012 to 2014 under Pauline Mariot, Quebec's first female premier. But the rise of the Coalition Avenir Quebec in 2011 shifted the political landscape. By the 2018 election, the Parti Québécois fell to 10 seats, and in 2022 it was reduced to just 3 members, the smallest caucus in its history. Despite the decline, the party began a surprising resurgence. On October 2nd, 2023, it won Jane Talon by-election, a district it had never won before. Pascal Paris became the party's fourth member, and the victory sent shockwaves throughout Quebec politics. Throughout 2024 and 2025, the Parti Québécois climbed steadily in public opinion polls. By late 2025, it was performing strongly among many voters. The party also nominated dozens of new candidates across the province in preparation for the 2026 election. In February 2026, the party won Chicomoti by-election, adding a seventh member. Between March and June 2026, it continued expanding its slate of candidates. By mid-2026, the Parti Québécois was preparing for the October 2026 provincial election, with leader Paul St-Pierre promising that a referendum on independence would be held during his first term if elected. Today, the Parti Québécois stands at a pivotal moment. From its founding in 1968 to its resurgence in 2026, the party continues to shape Quebec's ongoing conversation about identity, autonomy, and the future. Whether in opposition or on the verge of returning to power, it remains one of the most influential forces in Quebec politics.